on the pump price of fuel and flexible exchange rate policy are painful but inevitable. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Earlier, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, was in our studio where Lydia Sampson took him up on some issues in the presidential broadcast.
The president said in his speech, and I quote, "The measures we must take may lead to hardships." What new painful measures are in the works?
Well, you look at what has happened with the petrol, for instance. This country had had more than 30 years of problems with the issue of petrol subsidy. Each government that came into power had tried to remove this. And because it is the most troublesome issue in the country's, economy, they dropped it, like a hot metal. This is the government that looked at Nigerians in the eye and said, look, we have been pretending to Nigerians for so long. This country's Secret Service, for instance, did a survey and told the government that all of the things about 86 naira was pretentious. For more than 6 months in the country, oil prices had not been sold at the government fixed prices, except in Abuja, Lagos, and possibly parts of Kaduna. Even Akwa Ibom State, which, for instance, produces oil in large quantities, for the past 5 years, they never bought oil at government fixed prices. So all of these things will come, and the effort to diversify the economy itself is not something that obviously can yield fruition in a short period of time. So difficulties will remain with us, but these are temporary difficulties because they will go away, especially when, as he projected in this speech, government expects to satisfy the country's demand with rice and sugar produced domestically in the next periods between 18 months to 3 years in the coming period.
Yeah, okay, Malam Garba, moving on, the president says the Ministry of Information will publish the details of recoveries and related matters. How soon can we expect that?
We hope that government will do this by Wednesday or Thursday. The president doesn't want to be saying things that are not exactly there. All of these collections and the forfeitures and those that are in the process of being collected are in various departments of government, ICPC, EFCC, the National Security Advisor's Office, and all of that, and the Central Bank of Nigeria. All of these things will be brought together. The work resumes Tuesday, Wednesday. The president has given a directive now, so it is left for all of these organs to come together and give to the Ministry of Information all of the information so that they can put it before the Nigerian public.
Is the president thinking of devaluing the naira?
The president is opposed to devaluation. He has said it repeatedly. But the CBN has responsibility for monetary policy and has given them the leeway to introduce what he has called flexibility in dealing with the national currency.
Okay, we'll still ask you. The consensus is that in the long term, it is more important to build strong institutions than relying on strong leaders, because the leaders may not be there forever. How is this government actually strengthening institutions? Well,
the president himself has said in one of his speeches that this country's strong institutions had been destroyed by strong people. He said, I'm going to rebuild this, a strong leader is going to rebuild all of the strong institutions. It's simple as saying, let them be free to do their own work. This is a president who doesn't say to the ICPC, go and persecute this person. He doesn't say to the EFCC who to go after. He will not ask judges to drop cases against anyone, whether they are party members or senior members of his own government. So in the overall then, when institutions are allowed to operate freely without interference, they will do well and they will grow in their strength.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, sharing his thoughts on the presidential broadcast. Now, as part of activities marking the administration's 1 year in office, President Muhammadu Buhari has held a media parley where he identified the sudden drop in the price of crude as a shocker, among other challenges.
we put ourselves into mono economy. We depend on petroleum. And then, I'm sure you know it very well, from 1999 to 2013, toward the end and before, the average of Nigerian crude per barrel is $100. It was from 143, it was gradually going down. And then suddenly, when we came in by some fabulous coincidence, it just go up to below 30 at some stages. And then we suddenly realized we are depending only on petroleum. We don't even have money to import food. So this is personally the first biggest shock I received after coming in.
The full package of President Buhari's audience with the Newspapers Proprietors Association of Nigeria comes up at 10:30 tonight. All NTA stations are advised to hook up. Senate President Bukola Saraki has commended Nigerians for sustaining democracy in the past 17 years, despite the challenges the country has encountered within the period. This is contained in a statement from the Senate President to commemorate the 2016 Democracy Day. The Senate President described democracy as not only the most globally accepted system of government, but also the best solution to the problems confronting the multicultural, multilingual, and multireligious society like Nigeria. Saraki said Nigeria's democracy is fast maturing in the 17 unbroken years, as demonstrated with peaceful change of power from one party to another, while noting that the nation still has to improve on the conduct of elections in such a manner that the free will of the electorate would be reflected in the results. He called on elected and appointed officials at all levels of government to continue to justify the confidence the people reposed in them. The Senate President said the National Assembly will continue to strengthen the electoral laws and other legislations that could build institutional checks against the abuse of the law by individuals and groups. He urged Nigerians to be more patient with the government as the entire world is facing challenging times, and that what the country needs to overcome the economic situation is discipline, prudent management of resources, and exploration of hitherto neglected areas in creating national wealth. Bukola Saraki congratulates Nigerians on the occasion of Democracy Day and solicits continued prayers for the government. And Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has congratulated Nigerians as they mark Democracy Day and 17 years of uninterrupted democratic rule in Nigeria. He says the milestone calls for sober reflections on our achievements and failures as a democratic nation. A statement by his spokesman, Turaki Hassan Dogara, says, as a major symbol of democracy, the House of Representatives, under his leadership, promises to strengthen our democratic values and development by legislating for the needs and aspirations of Nigerians. Dogara believes that as Nigeria faces serious economic challenges due to dwindling oil revenues, Nigerians should be hopeful and trust the capacity of the current democratic dispensation for a lasting solution. He urges Nigerians to wait patiently for the results of the current policies and actions of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led government, which he believes will soon begin to yield positive results. President Muhammadu Buhari will be represented by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the 8th Summit of the Heads of State of African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States holding in Papua New Guinea from tomorrow, Monday, 30th of May. A statement from Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President, said Professor Osinbajo will join leaders from 78 countries to address the summit in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. The summit will discuss the future of the ACP group as a revitalized cohesive force advocating interests of its member states in the international arena. A statement from the Secretariat of the organization added that discussions at the summit will also review recent key international developments, including Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, issues of migration, climate change, and the fight against terrorism. One of the main objectives of the ACP group is the sustainable development of its member states and their gradual integration into the global economy, which entails making poverty reduction a matter of priority and establishing a new, fairer, and more equitable world order. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is also expected to participate in the summit as he will present a report on the future of the group as the leader of its eminent persons group. As Christians join in the celebration of Nigeria's Democracy Day, they have been challenged to pray constantly for the leaders and the nation for a turnaround. This was the message from the clergy at Democracy Day church service, and Ifeanyi Ezumba was there now reports.
Christians in high spirit there celebrating the day. Pastor Michael Olatunde of Christ Apostolic Church, Durumi, urged Christians to be ready to take risks at all times.
Our own Jerusalem now is Nigeria. Let's continue to pray for him, and it's going to be better.
Celebrating the 2016 National Kuba Presbytery Convention with the theme, Why Sit We Here? Archbishop Praise Daniel urged Christians to use their God-given talent rather than wait on government.
We must dare into the future. We must be industrious. We must have initiatives. We must have ideas.
Let's believe in this government. Change is hard, like we heard. Change is tough. But definitely at the other end of the tunnel, there will always be light.
As Nigerians celebrate Democracy Day, ministers of God salute President Muhammadu Buhari on his anti-corruption war, but called on the present administration to use the occasion to look at ways to cushion the sufferings of the masses. Prayers were offered for the peace, unity, and development of the nation. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
A bit on education now. Ebonyi State has won the 2016 Inter-Senior Secondary Schools National Debate Championship in Abuja. The debate was on the topic, are Nigerians enjoying the dividends of democracy or not? The event, organized by President's Schools Debate Nigeria, is part of activities to mark President Muhammadu Buhari's first anniversary as democratically elected president in Nigeria. Olayinka Ojo reports.
12 teams from 10 states participated at the 2016 edition of the National Inter-Senior Secondary School Debates Championship. After a fierce contest that saw two finalists, Team Taraba and Team Ebonyi argued for and against to the topic, are Nigerians enjoying the dividends of democracy, exhibiting qualities of assertiveness, persuasiveness, confidence, and good body language. Team Ebonyi was able to outsmart Team Taraba.
We have different principles of democracy, where every democratic nation must be able to boast of these principles.
We enjoy the smoothness of the road. Was that not a dividend of the democracy?
Describing debate as a key aspect of democracy that brings the yearning and aspirations of the people to the knowledge of governments and their representatives, National Coordinator Inter-Senior Secondary School Debates Championship, Dare Oritu, and other dignitaries noted that the competition, which started 16 years ago, has been able to promote peace, unity, understanding, as well as build young generation for national and economic growth.
Motions for the debate have been largely woven around topical issues like the importance of agriculture to our economy.
You have proved to us that you are more than able.
Some of the participants bear their minds on what they feel was their strengths and weaknesses that brought them thus far.
Promise Nigerians that we are going to make them proud. We continue to work hard as you have earlier done.
Ebonyi State used the international standard in their own method of debating while we're ignorant of that.
With this victory, Ebonyi, Kaduna, and Anambra states will be representing Nigeria at the 2016 World Inter-School Debate Championship, slated for July in Germany. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
It was an atmosphere of praise, thanksgiving and gratitude to God for the Chairman, House Committee on Information, Honorable Segun Odubumi, as his family, colleagues, friends and well-wishers converged on the Citizens Church to dedicate his set of twins. Olajide Bello reports that the Speaker, House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, was also in attendance.
Angelina Taiwo Odebomi, I dedicate Angela Kehinde Odebomi unto you, in the name of God the Father, and of God the Son, and of God the Holy Spirit.
That was the lead pastor of the Citizens Church, Peter Balogun, dedicating the new bundle of joy of the Odebomis to God Almighty. Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara prayed for God's blessings and protection for the Odebomi twin. In his sermon tagged Ungrateful Heart, Pastor Peter Balogun enjoined Christians and Nigerians alike to always be grateful to God at all times, irrespective of their situations.
If we learn to appreciate one another, I'm telling you, the world will be at peace, the nation will be at peace.
Describing children as gifts from God, the clergyman enjoined parents to endeavor to bring up their children in the way of the Lord. There was a special Thanksgiving session, after which Honorable Segun Odebomi, who could not hide his joy, speaks.
Today is a great day in my family. I want to glorify God for what He has done for us.
In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The 2016 Feast of Passover and Unleavened Bread of the community of Hashem worldwide has ended with a call on the leaders of the country to apply spiritual solution to the problems confronting the nation. The General Overseer of the community of Hashem, Most Reverend Chidi Amakeze, made the call at the closing ceremony held at Nobi, Anambra State. Victor Azu has details.
Delivering his sermon, Most Reverend Chidi Amakeze advised the leadership of the country to call upon God in a bid to find lasting solutions to the challenges confronting the nation.
But my prayers is that whatever that is hampering the progress of this nation by this feast, God will redeem us.
The event featured the reading of the 613 codified laws of God, which include 365 prohibitions and positive 248 commandments. All the male members of the community later presented themselves at the altar in rededication to God, as commanded in Deuteronomy 16, verse 16.
I am happy that I am following the footsteps of Jesus Christ, because he did what we did today many years ago.
Whatever God said that man shall do to live, it's an obligation that everybody should do it.
God was, as it was in the beginning, is now, and shall be forever.
It is the duty and responsibility of women to remain steadfast, to remain as the bedrock of the family.
The Feast of Passover and Unleavened Bread, which commemorates the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, takes its roots from Exodus chapter 12. From Nobi, in Idemili South local government area, Victor Azo, NTA News.
5 persons have been reported dead and 3 others injured when an improvised explosive device exploded close to a military checkpoint at the outskirts of Biu town in Borno State. The device, which was planted by the side of Biu-Damboa Road, exploded when a tricycle, popularly known as Keke Napep, unknowingly stepped on the device, which, according to investigations, had been buried long time ago undetected. A statement from the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Kukasheka, says the general area has been cordoned off and the explosive ordnance device team from Forward Operation Base in Buratai has been mobilized to carry out further search of the area. The statement appeals to the public for more cooperation as the Nigerian Army remains committed to ending the menace of insurgency. Minister of Environment Amina Mohammed has called for collective responsibility from all stakeholders in the cleanup of Ogoni land. The minister made the call during her visit to the demonstration site of the Ogoni cleanup, expected to be flagged off by the president next Thursday. Emmanuel Laney reports.
The minister's visit to Bodo in Ogoni is preparatory to the flag-off of the Ogoni cleanup exercise expected to be performed by the President and Commander-in-Chief Muhammadu Buhari on the 2nd of June. The minister, who was on an assessment of the demonstration site, restated the president's commitment to the cleanup of the Niger Delta with the aim of diversifying the economy and promote agriculture. Amina Mohammed called for the active involvement of all the tiers of government to sustain the development.
I think the first commitment's being made, and that's a concerted effort to actually implement the UNEP report. That has been a lot of work that was done by experts, but more importantly, it involves the communities. That's one report that everybody owns. And there are actions in there that are really ought to be invested in and we ought to implement. So that's the first commitment. That's what we're going to be here to do on Thursday.
The Commission has a commitment and has a mandatory assignment to ensure that they're part of this process as long as it takes.
The minister was accompanied on the visit by representatives of other development partners, including the Niger Delta Development Commission and National OSP Detection and Response Agency. In Bodo, Ogoniland, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
Some tactical air assaults have been deployed from the Tactical Command, NAF Makudi, to the Niger Delta to support military operations against pipeline vandals, as well as other security challenges in the region. Emmanuel Lene again reports.
The air assets include a surveillance aircraft, 2 combat Alpha jets, and air officers. Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Nigeria Air Force Makodi, Air Vice Marshal Muhammadu Mohammed said the federal government is concerned about the security challenges in the Niger Delta, coupled with the latest spate of pipeline vandalism and the destruction of other critical infrastructure, hence the need to support other security agencies to put an end to the challenges.
Certainly everybody is aware of the security challenges in the South. It has been publicized. You are aware that every day the situation is becoming worse than what it used to be. That is exactly our concern.
Air Vice Marshal Muhammadu Mohammed, who noted the negative activities of militants and pipeline vandals on the nation's economy, pointed out that the Nigerian Air Force will work to ensure that the activities of hoodlums are put in check as directed by the President. The Air Officer Commanding Tactical Command was received by the Commander, 97 Special Operations Group, Nigeria Air Force Port Harcourt, Air Commodore Charles Owo. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
Diplomats say it is about time that African countries deepen practical cooperation and leverage on the natural resources on the continent for Africa to take its rightful place in the world. This was the common view of diplomats at the Silver Jubilee celebration of Ethiopia from military regime. Muplan Dakok reports.
Every May 28 stands not just for a change of government for Ethiopia, but a day where the foundation for peace, stability, democracy and development was laid.
We all should, solidarity of our countries is very important. So if we are, fight together, if we stand together, that's what we have to do, all Africans.
With the current challenges in Africa, ranging from terrorism and insecurity, climate change and corruption, the diplomats say all countries on the continent must work in collaboration.
The first lesson that Africa can learn from this great country, Ethiopia, is discipline and strategic planning and focus. This is something that we need on our continent to realize our full potentials.
We are endowed with all the resources. But one thing we must take as a challenge, if we are to add value to our resources and gain from it, we must address Africa's energy challenge.
Unlike other countries, Ethiopia does not celebrate independence since it has never been colonized. And this year, 2016, marks the 55th year of Nigeria-Ethiopia relations. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
The sports sector also thrived within 1 year of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Correspondent Kene Mabodike reports that the industry has been repositioned to achieve more in the scheme of things.
The fact that the Super Eagles failed to qualify for next year's Africa Cup of Nations and also exited the Championship of African Nations CHAN 2015 in Rwanda at the group stage do not in any way diminish the record successes in the sector in the year under review. The Golden Eagles triumph in Chile, Flying Eagles victory in Senegal, and Dream Team 6-6 exploits in Senegal, which earned them automatic tickets to the 2016 Rio Olympics, remain huge pluses. Other global successes in other sports, including boxing, athletics, wrestling, weightlifting, table tennis, Scrabble, as well as para-sports, to mention but a few, compelled President Muhammadu Buhari to reward deserving athletes, including the victorious Golden Eagles class of 1985.
No one else would actually be able to do a thing like this for this moment than one who is morally sound, like our president.
Of course, the D-Tigers won their first ever Afro-Basket title in 2015 and automatically qualified for next year's Olympics in Rio.
Within the period too, we have seen some positives in terms of talents coming from the age grade level.
Sports facilities are beginning to receive attention, particularly the Lagos National Stadium, which was abandoned for years.
The infrastructure are very important for the training of athletes. You use the facilities to train. Without good facilities, you cannot train.
Still on the scorecard, Nigeria also finished second at the 2015 All-African Games in Congo-Brazzaville with 144 medals, made up of 47 gold, 55 silver and 42 bronze, to cap up a sign of many more glories to come. Should Team Nigeria's outing at the forthcoming 2016 Rio Olympic Games turn successful, it will definitely be a deserving gift to President Muhammadu Buhari when we begin to appraise achievements in the sector in his second year in office by this time in 2017. From the main bowl of the Abuja National Stadium, Kenan Imabodike, NTA News.
Let's now take a look at the weather picture for Monday across the country.
Hello. It's a pleasure to have you on the weather forecast for Monday. Now let's take a look at the highlights. In the morning, we expect cloudy conditions over most places around the country, from the north to most part of the inland of the south. While there are slim chances of isolated rains over the coast of the southeast, which should include areas around Calabar and Port Harcourt, and some parts of the coast of Lagos. In the afternoon, we're looking forward to have pockets of isolated thunderstorms spring up across the country, with particular emphasis on the northwestern part of the country. The high grounds of the central state could also have one or two isolated thunderstorms, while the inland areas of the south are not excluded in the activities we expected in the afternoon. For temperatures, we expect it to be a little bit high over the northeastern part of the country, which includes areas around Maiduguri, while elsewhere mild conditions are expected. I'm Olubi Adedamola from Nigerian Meteorological Agency. Do enjoy your day.
That's the news beat. We now take a break to bring you some messages. Your Sunday Tonic continues after the break with Becky. Do stay with us.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Mommy, don't worry, I'll sort this thing out. They don't call me basket man for nothing. Sister.
Hello, brother.
Papa is marrying another wife, oh.
I will come home and scatter that place.
Hello. Daddy is marrying another wife this weekend.
He can't do that to Mama. Tell him I'm coming. I'm coming.
Lies! I'm coming.
Driver, airport. Did I tell you people? They are all coming.
You see? Mom, Dad, I told you everything will be fine.
Get more for free on every 100 Naira recharge. Enjoy 400 Naira talk time to call all networks, plus Plus, 75 megabytes of ultra high-speed data worth 300 naira, which includes 25 megabytes data free to give someone. Dial star 303 hash to subscribe to Glow Talk Special. The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. In the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
What?
What are you doing?
Stop!
There you go.
Yay, Indomie!
All amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids.
To all the unique children of the world, happy Children's Day from Indomie. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
The management of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, felicitates with President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, and indeed all Nigerians on the occasion of this year's Democracy Day. We seize the occasion to enjoin all Nigerians to put all hands on deck on this voyage of economic recovery. Happy Democracy Day. NPA, a national brand asset anchored on service excellence.
Thanks for staying on the line. By whatever yardstick it is measured, democratic rule surpasses other types of governance systems because it is the government whose leaders are chosen by the people. This year's Democracy Day in Nigeria is adjudged by many as unique because it marks for the first time in recent history a government voted in by popular decision, ousting a sitting government. Abdullahi Garuba Benin-Kodo reports on 1 year of the Buhari administration and the democratic values therein.
Having just a few minutes ago sworn by the Holy Book, I intend to keep my oath and serve as president to all Nigerians. I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
Yes, this statement is the most widely acknowledged quote from the inaugural speech of President Muhammadu Buhari. But many believe that indeed President Buhari belongs to the ordinary Nigerians. As it has appeared, in the current times, no other political figure receives the much accolade and support of all Nigerians, like this 73-year-old man that some may refer as Mr. Integrity.
They have their own history of trouble.
Somebody. 1 year on, the government has been formed, whose policies been implemented. It is clear that Nigeria is in a better hand.
Barry, the thing why they do is good. But this thing why they Boko Haram, why the thing why they stop, the thing they okay. The thing where they say that the food where they hurt, now the people will say it the top.
So you want President Buhari to assist as the less privileged and the ordinary persons with a food to eat?
Yes, I want make everybody make it the thing calm down, make everybody the chop.
Well, Buhari has asked you people to go back to the farm. Are you willing to go back to the farm?
Yes, me already go now, but now the money no get. That's why I no giri go. The mileage here make it the same property.
Had been able to perform well, and if I'm allowed to give him a score, I think he has passed. For the fact that he inherited a nation that was bedeviled with a lot of problems, myriads of problems.
So Nigeria, we are happy today to be in a very beautiful regime. Congratulations for having the best president in Africa.
Democratically, this is the first time a ruling party preferred to call itself governing party because it believes in carrying everybody along.
Today for us is like a woman in childbirth, the pains of delivery. But once the child pops out, of course there's joy, there's merriment, the pains are gone, and development starts. Just like the child grows, the mother grows, everybody is happy. So that is the promise that we are making to the nation. Bear with us. We did not create the problems. We inherited them. And everything is being done to reverse the decay.
Under 1 year in leadership, the Buhari administration focuses its attention towards long-term measures that will change Nigeria from its present status of a mono economy to diversifying its resources to cover all unexploited resources. The journey may appear tough, but the man at the helm of affairs is not unaware of these feelings. He chunked out a number of palliatives with more than 500 billion naira set aside in the 2016 budget, and at any fora, the president does not hide his emotion he has for Nigerians.
The federal government of Nigeria is resolutely determined for change and to make Nigeria, our country, a land of great opportunity, peace, progress, and prosperity based on equity, fairness, and justice for all.
You look at what is in the budget in terms of the poor, of employment, generation, the teachers, the 500 teachers that are going to be employed. For the first time, for crying out loud, we have an administration that is putting about 3 trillion naira into the capital budget of this country. It has never happened before.
President Buhari takes credit for concerted effort at quashing impunity and corruption in the polity. As at now, prosecution of corruption cases of some highly placed personalities are ongoing without interference, earning more respect for the Nigerian nation.
Leadership is what matters. If we get it right in leadership, we get it right in everything. So the present leadership, we must be thankful to God, is very, very, very clear in terms of transparency, in terms of integrity, both within and outside this country.
With diplomatic visits to many countries by President Buhari, Nigeria's foreign relations has improved for the better.
Now you can see many presidents in the world, developed countries, want to identify with our own president. And many nations that before now wouldn't want to give us any form of economic assistance have started coming to the aid of Nigeria.
Is interface with the international political system in solving and providing governance, service delivery, and leadership for the Nigerian state has led to his diplomatic shuttles and interfacing with other countries, particularly in the charge to bring some sanity and to block the leakages to the Nigerian resource.
For a second-time visitor to the Northeast, in recent years, he or she will be confronted with a new region as this administration has brought the insurgents on their knees. All these feats are being achieved alongside changing the mindset of Nigerians on true democratic governance, with citizens and opposition mind being given the opportunity to make their input.
Is political stability in the sense that it could be worse than what it is now.
I think Buhari as a party, as a person, for me, he has done his utmost level best.
It is safe to say that for the first time the National Assembly scrutinized the budget thoroughly and agreed to disagree with the executive, all for a better Nigeria. As the nation marks another Democracy Day, it is evident to many that the system is growing and getting better as the electors get wiser to question their leaders on their performance.
Still on Democracy Day, many Nigerians may argue that no Nigerian leader enjoyed so much celebration over his electoral victory like President Muhammadu Buhari a year ago. Several people voluntarily pursued feats to identify with his victory. Many of the faces were known, many more were not, but their goodwill was not missed. It is a year since that victory, and Hamisu Rogo pursued some of the known faces of that great advantage to celebrate victory.
It's going to be another Democracy Day, 29th of May precisely. That was the year when Buhari effectively assumed office as the president of the country. But then, to celebrate his victory, there were a lot of things that were coming up, like people trekking from Lagos, from Yola to celebrate that actual celebration. Now it is 1 year after the presidency assumed office and all that. What happened to those people? What are their situation and condition? Well, just a bit curious, so we decided to bring one of those people who did that long trek from Lagos to Abuja just to celebrate president. So he's at the door here, so we'll pick him up. Malashim, pleasure. It has been quite a while. You came with your wife? Yeah, I came with you. Madam, lovely wife you have. Come in. Madam, good morning. No, join us. There are a lot of changes on Hashimu from the time I covered him a year ago, when he was arriving in Abuja from his leg trek from Lagos to celebrate Buhari's electoral victory. He looks more robust now and more relaxed. On his trail is this fair woman. Hashimu told me he's married now. He said when he did the trekking, he was single. Immediately after, he spoke to this fair lady. It is not the marriage that was special, though, but how they met.
We met via phone call. After the trekking, I just fell in love with him.
Hawa says she's resolved to be Hashimu's life partner on life. His marriage apart, I asked Hashimu what he has been doing with his life after the celebratory trekking, and whether his life changed after that famous reception from the President Buhari himself.
You can see when after the trekking, I got married, this is my wife. And there's a lot of things, a lot of challenges, and honestly, you see life has automatically changed because of the popularity, especially when I did after trekking. Almost everybody is happy with me. You see anywhere people will be pointing at me, everybody want to see me, people will be shaking me, people want to snap picture with me.
The trekker says his feat made him a national celebrity, but that comes with some challenges.
Well, popularity is not an easy something. When you are popular, you have to change all your characters, your movements, your association with people.
One of the questions I asked Hashimu was the story being credited to him, denouncing his support for Buhari, a story he denied.
Actually, voting for Buhari and trekking for Buhari will not make me to regret. I will never regret trekking for Buhari. Buhari is a wonderful person, and it's a gift by God as a president. All the rumor that is going up and down, I later came out on social media, all these things, I deny it. It's a fail, it's a lie. Sometimes you face a lot of, as I said earlier, a lot of challenges when you become popular.
I'm winding up. But I must tell you, I think destiny has toasted celebrity or popularity on the hand of Hashimu. Hashimu now could not go to public places. He cannot enter public transport. He could not do a lot of things that ordinary people like me could do. Hashimu did say also that after that his popular trekking, he was able to get a lovely wife and marry. You can see them together now, a lovely couple if you ask me. That is as great as it can be and as beautiful as it can be. There are other issues which he has fundamentally raised. We have spoken about them, but I think it is a good day. So, Hashimu, thank you very much for having time to be with us. Thank you very much. Haja, I'm not going to shake your hand. I don't want any trouble with the Hausaman.
Habisu for that interesting piece. Now, Yahya Makahu Usman is physically challenged with blindness. That, however, did not stand in the way of his determination to be the best he possibly can in his chosen profession. Yahya, who lives in Kaduna, is a musician. Proving that disability is no barrier, he is excelling in music. Yahya has released his latest album, which he launched in Abuja. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that the event was attended by high-profile personalities.
That song, Haka Allah Ya So, opened the doors for Yahya Usman Makahu, born in 1983. He said he got blind after a battle with measles at the age of 3. The song tells the story of his trying childhood and the desperate but futile effort by his parents to restore his sight. Yahya Makahu said he first ventured into begging before moving to petty business, but all could not give him the desired benefit until he strayed into music by accident.
Even with the blindness while growing, I engaged in some domestic work to help my parents, like going to the bush to get firewoods.
Hajia Hajusani, who represented the wife of the president, said such talent must be supported as a way of encouraging those who feel dejected by deformity in their bodies.
We are very excited to see that somebody who has gone through hardship to come up with such talent that everybody is admiring him. We need to do everything possible to support him, to support people like him.
Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, who stood in for the Chief of Army Staff, said this should serve as a wake-up call to those lying idle.
Call on well-meaning Nigerians to support this gentleman for turning his back against the culture of begging, against the culture of inferiority complex.
An APC chieftain, Malam Farooq Adamu Aliyu, said the party manifesto recognizes the importance of people with disabilities and will assist them to prosper.
Many often state the term ability in disability when referring to persons with disabilities, but giving the opportunity for the persons with disabilities to demonstrate his or her ability is a different ball game.
To Yahya, like we always say on Newsline, disability is a thing of the mind. We wish you more success. Next up, in the next few days, Muslims will embark on the 1-month-long mandatory fast in the month of Ramadan. The spiritual exercise is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and expectedly the faithful are already preparing for the commencement of the fast in the holy month. In view of this, Musa Toliat packaged this report on preparing for the Ramadan fast.
Ramadan fast is observed in the 9th of the 12th month in the Islamic lunar calendar. Adequate preparation is required to ensure that vital areas of the obligation are not overlooked so as not to mar the attainment of spiritual upliftment during the month.
We have spiritual preparation. Muslims must be eager to meet the demand with love. We need to be physically balanced, because if we are suffering in one ailment or the other, it's better we do medical checkup so that we see ourselves fit.
Watazawadu, prepare for inno khaira zadi taqwa, but the best preparation is the fear of God.
Every day of the fast commences with the pre-dawn meal known as sahur, while sunset marks the successful completion of the day's fast, followed by the breaking of the fast with the meal called iftar.
Taking sahur indeed is sunnah of Rasulullah. For you waking up at that time and eating, no matter how small, the Prophet said you should be taking sahur because there is blessing of Allah in taking sahur.
The Quran states categorically that the Ramadan fast is not intended to bring hardship on Muslims, but there are some who are exempted from observing it. They include the old with infirmity, the terminally ill, travelers, and underaged children. Some categories of women are also exempted.
The woman that is winning a child, or a pregnant woman, for example, if because of the pregnancy it may trouble you, you are allowed to abstain.
However, for some categories of the faithful exempted from the fast, There are injunctions on how to make up for the number of days missed.
And after delivery, then you pay back for the number of days you have missed. Ditto for a woman that is winning a child. But for those that have a terminal ailment, which means they must perpetually be on their medication, such people are the ones that are expected to perform what is called fidya, that is feeding of indigent Muslims. For each day in Ramadan, they are expected to feed 60 people in the month of Ramadan.
But those who deliberately boycott the fast, however, the process for atonement is severe.
The punishment for doing this, which is called kafara, atonement, is that the person will fast sha'araini mutatabi'aini, 2 consecutive months, that is 60 days without breaking it.
There are misconceptions about this spiritual obligation, which these scholars set straight.
Even if the weather is hot, you are allowed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to take your shower, even in swimming pool. Cleaning your teeth too is allowed during Ramadan using chewing stick or toothbrush.
At the successful end of the Ramadan fast, the faithful is expected to live his life as piously as he did during the holy month of Ramadan.
We are moving on to the next segment, which is loaded with corporate events that took place nationwide during the week. You will get to see the organizations that did what, when, where, and how. Let's take a break for that to happen. Stay on the line.
Bringo! Bringo! Dog, I go chop you. Bringo!
Yeah, okay. Ibu! If you like, try till now to thank Kingdom come. You no go ever fit sing or dance like us. But shall you fit hammer just like us. Or you carry your phone, text Glow to 555, answer the shaking football question. What they go send and you fit hammer 5 million naira just like that.
Yes, so 125 million naira they grand beam for the Glow Hammer Millions promo. And you say fit be one of the winners, so just text Glow to 555 and you fit be one of the 5 winners to hammer 5 million naira each every 20 days. Hey, or one of the 10 people to win 100,000 naira each every day. Hey, SMS now 100 naira only. This Hammer Millions promo they sweet my belly. The more you they play, the more your chance they increase to hammer.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
For 18 years, the Milo Basketball Championship has been building champs in life. And now, when you buy 2 packs of Milo 500 grams in participating outlets, you'll get a scratch card to win sports prizes instantly.
Milo! Nestle. Good food, good life.
What?
What are you doing?
Stop! Stop!
There you go.
Yay, Indomie!
Special in your way.
It's me, like no other.
No one else can do it like you.
It's me, like no other.
I this every day.
It's me, like no other.
That is like the Indomie.
Indomie, like no other. It's me, like no other.
Here's to all amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids.
To all the unique children of the world, happy Children's Day from Indomie. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Together, MTN and you, we created smiles. Together, we empowered many. Together, we saved lives. Together, we inspired dreams. And together, we could do even more with the MTN Foundation What Can We Do Together project, Phase 2. SMS MTN Foundation to 321 to nominate a community. Join in. Let's do more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. First Bank Nigeria Holdings PLC has held its annual general meeting in Lagos. Though the Nigerian financial sector witnessed challenges due to global market forces, First Bank says it was able to hold its head high. The bank recorded a dividend of 15 kobo per 50 kobo ordinary share for its shareholders in the year under review. Tekla Wilkie reports.
In spite of the challenges that characterize the entire spectrum of the financial services industry in Nigeria in the year ended 2015, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings PLC says staying focused on its goals and building on its existing structure was a major bonus for the bank. The 15 kobo per 50 kobo share paid to its shareholders in the financial year ended 2015 represent 150% of cash dividends paid in 2015.
The steps that we have taken will yield good results.
We know the situation of this economy, and we hope by next year it will improve.
In the wake of an increasingly fierce operating environment, management of the bank says it will not lose sight of its priority to be a strong, financially stable institution. The group, which realized an additional 2.3 billion naira from revenue synergies, posted 4.9% year-on-year increase in its gross earnings in 2015, closing at an all-time high of 505.2 billion naira. Profit before tax, however, declined by 77.1%, largely due to impairment charges of 119 billion naira.
We are looking at our policies, our process, procedure, and the people, including the underlying technology that enables us to have a very high-quality asset portfolio.
The bank, which has commenced merchant banking operations, says the impressive growth recorded in its subsidiaries offers a one-stop shop for existing customers and prospective clientele.
The role of the holding company is to push for group coordination and synergy so that the benefits of having 11 million customers begin to show.
The bank assured its customers of its continued drive to deliver on operational efficiency, improve risk management practice, in addition to adopting business models that will keep the bank stronger and better both on the domestic front and the global business environment.
The Ooni of Ife has appealed to corporate institutions in Nigeria to emulate the corporate social responsibility drive of ExxonMobil to improve the living standard of as many Nigerians as possible. Oba Ogunwusi made the appeal during a courtesy visit to his palace by a team from Esso Exploration and Production Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of ExxonMobil. Rotimi Akonwo reports.
About 300 million naira has been set aside by the Esso Explorations and Production Nigeria Limited, a subsidiary of ExxonMobil, for community assistance programs in which Ile-Ife has been chosen as a case study. Briefing the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, on the efforts of ExxonMobil to better the lots of the people through community assistance programs, Engineer Adetunji Obawole said Ile-Ife has benefited from the programs by building solar power boreholes at markets in Ife and Monereke. According to him, the solar power boreholes also spread to St. Stephen Primary School, Monereke Ife, SDA Primary School, Lagiri Ife, and building of mini science books and sets for libraries at Oduduwa College, Ile-Ife, Origbo Community High School, Ipetumodu, among others.
Work for the benefit of work for ExxonMobil, and that's an institution that cares for the country. The slogan in ExxonMobil is one with Nigeria. So each time we do a capital project, we do something, we take some money and spend it to benefit the community. Because we are one with Nigeria. We believe we shouldn't just be a corporate organization by name, we should be a corporate organization by action.
Responding, Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, extolled the status of ExxonMobil for complementing the effort of government towards making life meaningful for the people. Beneficiaries of the program's comment.
Is a very important project. It is a good example that other corporate bodies should emulate.
Facilitating these projects in Ile-Ife is highly commendable.
Various speakers at the reception organized by ExxonMobil commended the institution for improving the life of the people.
For pupils of Police Children's School of Balende, Lagos, Children's Day was celebrated in grand style. It was done in the newly refurbished classrooms on Children's Day, courtesy Fidelity Bank Nigeria PLC. The bank's managing director seized the opportunity to announce that the bank will also provide a brand new generating set to power the school's computer laboratory. Tunde Saiki reports.
To the glory of God and for the use of mankind.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Fidelity Bank PLC, flanked by some officials of the bank, Nigerian police, staff of the Police Children's School Obalende, as he cut the tape of the refurbished block of 4 classrooms equipped with air conditioner, ceiling fans, chairs and tables. He said the project is part of the bank's Helping Hand program, which is also part of the corporate social responsibility that the bank is noted for.
The initiative was actually driven by our security men in Fidelity Bank across the country. These security men, in keeping with our CSR strategy, tasked themselves and contributed 500 naira each to raise money for this renovation. Of course, in line with our policies, the bank then matched them with the balance. And that's what you're saying we're here to commission today.
For us as a security unit, we identify that and we keyed into it.
The representative of the Lagos State Commissioner of Police and the Zonal Quality Assurance Officer of the Police Education Corps described the gesture as laudable and appealed to well-meaning individuals and organizations to emulate it.
The children are the future of every nation. And for Fidelity to identify with the children, this is really good.
We are doing corporate projects in the school. It's in this time, honestly, it's something to be well appreciated of.
In appreciation, pupils of the school entertained guests with choreography and a parade with the representative of the police commissioner taking the salute.
I want to thank Fidelity for helping us to repair the school, preparing us for the future. Thank you all.
Moving on, with Nigeria's current economic challenges, the nation is seeking a way out of the woods. This is why diversification has become the latest word in the vocabulary of Nigerians. When former Vice President Atiku Abubakar performed the groundbreaking of a multi-million naira feeds mill in Abuja, it was clear that the agricultural revolution has begun. Patricia Eshami Luba reports.
What you see is the groundbreaking ceremony of a factory that will be producing 50 tons of animal feeds per hour. The event brought together top dignitaries. This groundbreaking event in industrial layout in Abuja is coming just 1 year after the establishment of Rico Gado Nutrition Limited in Yola, Adamawa State.
An opportunity to change the way we Nigerians look at our economy and agriculture. Today, the Yola feed mill is exactly what we had hoped for, an economically viable enterprise and a catalyst for change and development.
While Nigeria is said to have the largest concentration of livestock breeds in Africa, most of the farmers lack returns on their investments owing to poor feeding. This is one challenge Rico Gado Feeds hopes to address.
Rico Gado has great potential to change the face of livestock production in Nigeria and make positive impact socio-economic development of Nigeria.
Government officials at the event spoke on key policies taken to reposition the nation's agricultural sector.
We are looking at laws governing business in Nigeria, especially the establishment and sustenance of small and medium-scale enterprises.
And unless and until we take development to the rural areas and engage the humble and the poor in the villages, every effort we're making at improving and developing this country will come to nothing.
We want this factory to serve as a light
and a source of benefit and prosperity for the community around here.
The Abuja factory is expected to be completed within the period of 32 weeks. Livestock breeders in Abuja and its environs are sure to have a good deal, while the management of Rico Gado Nutrition Limited expects a greater level of patronage in the days ahead.
On to the next. Worried by negative influence of Western cultures on Nigeria's traditional value system, Heritage Bank PLC, in collaboration with Yibo Koko, is reinventing Seki, a dance drama to check the extinction of the nation's cultural heritage. Kingsley Amajiri reports on this traditional dance fused with the rich culture of the Okrika people of Rivers State.
Seki, which literally means dance, aims at identifying the African traditional theater with specific reference to the Okrika people of Rivers State. It highlights the theatrical activities from traditional, cultural, and religious rituals, which are the main characteristics of the communal life of the Okrika people away from war and crisis. Heritage Bank says it is identifying with this unique culture of Rivers people.
Our mantra to create, preserve, and transfer wealth across generations further emphasizes our role as a catalyst, helping our partners to establish legacies that transcend time.
For the director and creator of Seki dance drama, Yibo Koko, the essence is to bring alive the value creation inherent in the culture of Rivers people, even as it intends to help dispel the notion that the dance is rooted in fetish practices.
Our dances, our culture is gradually going into extinction. But we're saying that let's go back to how it used to be, where our parents, your neighbor, your family members were the custodians of bringing up a child.
For Rivers State Governor Yeso Wike, represented by the State Deputy Governor, and Dr. Gabriel Okara, among other spectators, the performance brings to fore the rich cultural heritage in Rivers State.
We are passionate to ensure that we keep what is ours for our posterity. So today we have witnessed a very wonderful display.
It was memorable. It really shows our heritage, which we should be proud of.
Moving on, the aim is to provide succor, and this the senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District, Dino Melaye, has done when he restored hope to not less than 300 unemployed women and youths in his constituency. How? Kenneth Nani reports.
From all nooks and crannies of Kogi West Senatorial District, people trooped to Atiku Abubakar Square in Ayetoro-Gbede for the empowerment program of Senator Dino Melaye. The excitement on the faces of both the beneficiaries and other members of the community who came to share in the joy of the occasion knew no bound.
When you are a leader, you are expected to show other people that has elected you into the position of authority that you show them gratitude. And this is a way of showing them gratitude.
This is the first time I'm getting empowerment from any politician, so I'm very happy and we are proud of him.
Dino promised us, boss, about 1 year, 2 months now, and he has fulfilled the promise.
Items distributed include sewing machines, grinding machines, hair dryers, computer sets, 100 pieces of GSM phones, buses, cash donations and scholarship for indigent students. The senator's family, led by his father, Elder Jonah Milaye, put the empowerment program in perspective.
It's an intelligent somebody, and it's a love of everybody. Some of us who are from Sokoto are here to grace this occasion in solidarity with him.
Every representative of the people has obligation to do what Dino is doing now. because the essence of going to represent them is to better their lives.
Whatever you have in this world is an opportunity. Whatever success you think you have achieved is all by the grace of God. And in appreciating God, you must also share the little you have with the have-nots, the talakawas and the mekunos. And that is what I'm doing excitedly.
To commit the process to God Almighty, as well as to seek divine guidance, a Thanksgiving service was held at the Apostolic Church Okaye, Ayetorogbede.
It's a landmark achievement to attain the age of 90. Yes, a royal father just did, and we shall reveal his details when Newsline returns from this commercial break.
You hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter. That might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, on behalf of the Ministry and its agencies, invites State Commissioners of Water Resources, Permanent Secretaries, Managing Directors of River Basin Development Authorities, Managing Directors of Rural Water Supply Agencies, other stakeholders and delegates in the water sector to the 24th regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources. Theme: focusing on water and sanitation for achieving sustainable development goals in Nigeria. Date: Tuesday, 31st May to Wednesday, 1st June 2016. Technical session: Thursday, 2nd June, 23rd National Council meeting. Venue: Executive Hall, International Conference Center, Abuja. Time: 8 a.m. daily. Mrs. Rabi S. Jimeta, Permanent Secretary. Announcer.
There is a reason Africa is called the New Frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
We have always lived together as brothers and sisters. Though we speak different languages and celebrate different cultures, we were still one Nigeria. There was no bombing, there was no kidnapping, and our children were not cultists. Now, we suspect one another as there are spreads of cultism, bombing, and kidnapping. How long shall this go on? Terrorism is alien, kidnapping is criminal, cultism is barbaric. Nigeria is a blessed country. Support the Nigeria Police and the fight against terrorism, kidnapping, and cultism. Always inform the police of any incident around you. Say something when you suspect something.
Remember, we all have a stake in building a crime-free Nigeria of our dream.
This message is from the Nigeria Police Force.
We are here to serve, and indeed, Nigerians would get the service they have longed for and which they rightly deserve.
the leader today that we have in Nigeria is one the world has been waiting for. Nigeria is seen in a new and a different, very positive light.
With what President Muhammadu Buhari is doing, our economy will be strong and resilient to withstand the shocks.
He wants the best for this nation. We want the best for this nation. Our aspirations should be to put this country first, and together we shall make progress.
If we don't believe in our own country, nobody will believe in our own country. So we must make sure that we continue with the trajectory. We don't want to make a mistake of the past.
This president has a singular opportunity to make that difference because the whole country is behind him.
And by the grace of Almighty God and the sheer will and determination of the Nigerian people, we will come out stronger and more united than ever.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Glad to have you back. Ogbomoso town, popularly known as a land of valiance, played host to eminent Nigerians at home and abroad when its paramount ruler, Oba Oladuni Oyewumi Ajagungbade III, clocked 90 years. It was double celebration as it also marked 42 years of his reign as Oba. As expected, the town was agog with pomp. Femi Afariogun captured the thrills and frills for your viewing.
In succession, dignitaries, including government functionaries, traditional rulers, business moguls, religious leaders, as well as sons and daughters of Ogbomoso land, arrived Seun's palace to felicitate with him. Alayeluwa Oba Oladuni Oyewumi Ajagungbade III, surrounded by his princes and princesses, walked majestically into the hall to the admiration of all who described the monarch as having transformed Ogbomoso land positively. Oyo State Governor Senator Abiola Ajimobi, Speaker House of Representatives Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Chairman House Committee on Information and National Orientation Honorable Segun Odebumi, and other Nigerians described Seun's 42 years on the throne as a major milestone worthy of celebration.
Baba epitomizes royalty. Baba epitomizes integrity.
Happy birthday, Merry prosperous life.
I want to congratulate all the sons and daughters of Ogbomoso land for this great privilege, for having a knowledgeable person on the throne for good 42 years.
He has been a wonderful, wonderful father.
Long live Kabiyesi, long live Ogbomoso land.
Monarchs from across the country affirmed the immense contribution of Oba Ajagungbade to the country.
I got him as one of my living fathers.
Truth, integrity, honesty.
He contributed immensely to the socio-economic development of Plateau State.
Climax of the event was a grand performance by the popular Jiji maestro King Sunny Ade, who triggered a dance from the non-Nigerian Oba Oladuni Oyewumi Ajagungbade III. History has it that Oba Ajagungbade is the longest reigning monarch of Ogbomoso land to date, and it remains a veritable force to be reckoned with by its people, Oyo State and Nigeria at large.
Congratulations to Oba Oladuni Oyewumi. May your reign remain peaceful. All's well that ends well. We'll end this program after this commercial break.
Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. What?
What are you doing?
Stop!
Stop! There you go.
Yay, Indomie! It's me! Like no other! It's me! Like no other! It's me! Like no other! Indomie! Like no
Here's to all amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids.
To all the unique children of the world, happy Children's Day from Indomie. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Digging.
Immediately after Newsline, there will be a broadcast on the network service of the NTA of President Muhammadu Buhari's meeting with newspaper editors. All NTA stations are to hook up. On this last Sunday in the month of May, we birth Newsline tonight. As we enter the month of June, which marks the first half of the year, yes, wishing you all prosperity and progress. Thanks for being such great company. Do well during the week. Good night and God bless Nigeria.